What do you do when you hate running your agency? What do you do when every morning feels like a dread? I've been there a few years ago. I actually shut down my agency for a few months because I just couldn't bear the pressure anymore, because there was no financial stability, there was no predictable income. The clients I had to work with weren't the best fit. I even got back to a full-time job and ran my agency almost just as a side hustle, taking on one or two clients every month that came organically. Now, I don't want you to be in that situation, so keep watching and learn the warning signs that I chose to ignore those warning signs. I'm a slow learner sometimes. You don't have to make the same mistakes. Keep watching to find out how I got back on track, how I got back into business, and how I grew my agency to a level it has never been before. Hey, I am Koch. I am a proud Cloudways maverick. I also run Virtual Summit Mastery and jankoch.co, where I help freelancers build predictable incomes and predictable businesses. So if any of these warning signs that I'm about to share with you sounds familiar, please pay close attention. If you wake up in the morning and you already dread opening your email inbox, if you have email anxiety because you know there aren't pretty news in that inbox lurking for you, that's a big warning sign, because something seriously is off track in your business if that is the situation. If you find that you are responding emotionally to challenges that come across your way and you get aroused easily, you feel stressed all the time and you feel under pressure, and you set out maybe scheduling tasks for the day, but then the first client email comes in or the first phone call comes in, and before you know it, that task list that you wrote in the morning is out of the window and you don't care about it anymore. You just have to jump onto that fire. You have to put out that problem that just came up. That is another really big warning sign. And lastly, if you just hate running your day-to-day, if you just don't enjoy being the business owner that you are, if you don't enjoy running the business that you have built, that's a big warning sign too. So those are 3 things to keep in mind as we go through this video. Now, the problem is if you act emotionally, for example, if you have that email anxiety, if you just have negative emotions toward your business because you know how stressful the day will be, you are not good at problem solving. This limits your creative power to actually find out what it is that is actually going wrong, to look behind the fire and see how you can mitigate the issues for the next project or the next client or even the next week. What can you do to prevent those things from happening again? It's really hard to see that if you are caught in this negative spiral where just one bad email or one negative client feedback leads to the next and the next and the next, and sooner than later, you'll find yourself stressed out beyond belief. Now, what you want to do is, or what worked for me at least, is a few things. One, never use your email inbox as a task management tool. The email inbox is not designed to be a task management tool. If you keep emails in your inbox because you will handle them later that day or you'll handle them tomorrow, you will build up that anxiety. Rather than that, implement a proper task management tool where the entire team has access to. Even if you are just working alone right now, leverage a task management tool and then remove all the emails from your inbox at least once per day, schedule them into the task management tool, add them to the appropriate project so that you stay on top of tasks. Because the one thing, and that's number 2 that I learned in this process, is that you have to always be on top of tasks. And all those negative emotions, all that email anxiety, dreading to read your emails, dreading to take on calls with clients, dreading to even open WhatsApp sometimes. I had some very stubborn clients back then who were constantly messaging me on WhatsApp, which is a no-go. It all results from not being on top of tasks and not being on top of projects. So what you want to do is remove the emails from your inbox, funnel them into a task management tool, establish proper guidelines of how clients should communicate with you, and then you set aside time, literally block a meeting with yourself in your calendar every single day to schedule the workload. And if a client comes up with something they think is urgent, you say, okay, let me schedule it into the workload and then I'll come back to you as soon as possible. Usually that's good enough if there's really no acute downtime on the website or something like that. And what that gives you is the freedom to not respond emotionally anymore. You distance yourself from the negative energy that the clients can bring into a conversation because they are super stressed out. And you put that buffer in between you and the client so that you are able to respond in a smart way and not just in a reactive way. You also want to start delegating more potentially. You want to give more responsibility to your team members. And this is a really hard lesson I had to learn for myself multiple times. You have to be okay with team members making mistakes. And you have to stop micromanaging team members. And we have videos for this on the Cloudways channel. But essentially, you need to free up your time for this delegating work, for the planning, for the administrative tasks, for staying on top of projects. And you probably have to remove yourself a bit from the day-to-day actual doing of the work. And what that then also gives you is the mental freedom, the mental flexibility to have creative ideas for overcoming the problems that you are facing. And before you know it, maybe after 30 days of going through this routine, you wake up feeling excited to running your business. So let me share 5 steps with you right now that I've been through myself that actually changed my life and my business. Number 1, and you've heard this before, but it is important, have a morning routine. For me, that's journaling, stretching, exercising, and spending time with myself in a quiet place, thinking of how I feel, how I have reacted emotionally yesterday, and what I don't want to do that day. And then I map out 3 to 4 tasks that I have to get done. Don't skip a morning routine. Find a way that works for you. Don't try my routine if it doesn't feel great. Try to come up with your own routine. But having this steady process of priming yourself for the workday, removing the negative energy from yesterday and starting fresh is really, really important. Then, as I said, what you want to do is you want to have a really solid process for handling tasks. Don't manage them in your inbox. Manage them in a proper task management system. Maybe look at the getting things done methodology from David Allen, one of my favorite ways to handle tasks. Look at the para method for managing projects and all the related information and things like that. There are tons of tools that you can use. Maybe you want to look at the EOS entrepreneurial operating system. Find what works for you, but don't use the email inbox as a task management tool. Third, establish clear communication guidelines with your customers. How quickly can they expect a response from you or the team? What channels can you communicate with them? How can they reach you? How can they make sure that their request gets actually seen? Usually that's an email address that's related to a ticket system, because then the team gets a notification when a new ticket or a new message comes in, and the team can handle this. Don't have clients call you all the time. Don't have clients WhatsApp you all the time. Use something like Calendly maybe to set up appointments, and then give the Calendly meeting a lead-up time of at least 1 day before somebody can book a meeting, so that the next day is always clear of meetings, or of spontaneous meetings at least, and gives you flexibility to plan. Most importantly, the lesson that was for me the most important one, is schedule time off to recharge. As entrepreneurs, we like to be doing all the time. We like to see results. And I felt bad when I wasn't working. I always thought to myself, even when I was sitting on the couch with my wife, I thought to myself, I should be working. I know I have this problem right now that's sitting in my email inbox or in the task management system. I should be working on this. Be okay with recharging. Be okay with not working, with having time off, because your body and your mind needs it. And lastly, execute empowering team building exercises. Building the team and having a team that can act proactively, can make its own decisions, is super important. So find ways to bring people together, make them friends, or make them friendly at least in working with each other, establish clear communications in between the team, and have some fun. I mean, in the end, life is too short to be stressed about running an agency. We should be enjoying the work that we are doing, right? That's why we started the business in the first place. We want to have fun. We don't want to work for somebody else who's bossing us around. So don't be that boss to your employees. If you want to learn more about building your digital agency, growing your freelance business, making more money online in a sustainable and ethical way, subscribe to the Cloudways channel. We create content every single week that helps you build your digital-based business, be it an online agency, a web design business, a marketing agency. We've got you covered because we are speaking from real-world experience. Like the channel, like the video, leave a comment below if this message sounded familiar to you. If you've been in a place where you wanted to shut down the business and then you turned the ship around, let me know which tip of the 5 resonated the most with you. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.